What it do, YouTube, man? It's your boy LT back with a whole nother video, man. And today we got, it was a lie. Now, it was all a lie. And it wasn't the caption that caught me, bro. I saw Michael Jordan taking off. It's one. I'm gonna put it up right up there, bro, so y'all can see it real quick. Anyways, bro, I saw it. When I saw the thumbnail, I said, what are you talking about, bro? So we're going to go into it and check what's going on. I haven't seen this video, man. This is something I'm really looking forward to, man. But, man, before I press this play button, if this is your first time seeing me on your screen or you're a returning subscriber, man, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, leave me some comments because I'm always lit when it comes to any content. But let's get into it.
In 1985, a rookie Michael Jordan entered the NBA Slam Dunk Contest. At the time, he was only a few months into his NBA career, but MJ already had millions of fans in the palm of his hand. Michael was the future, and everyone knew it. And to pay homage to his childhood idol Julius Erving, Michael pulled off a dunk that would inevitably become his trademark. A dunk from the free throw line. And on his very first attempt, Michael pulled it off. An incredible, gravity-defying dunk. Fans were amazed, judges were impressed, and Michael Jordan came in second. And he took that personally. So 2 years later in 1987, Michael Jordan made his return to the dunk contest, and this time, he put it all on the table. With one of the greatest dunk contest performances in NBA history, MJ went home as the NBA dunk contest champion. But not before pulling off arguably the most iconic dunk in basketball history.
Oh, the tape.
Another free throw line dunk. But this wasn't like any that came before it. To this day, when most players do free throw line dunks, they really have to reach and strain themselves to get the ball to the hoop. But what MJ did in '87 was graceful. It was effortless. It looked like the man was literally floating. When fans saw this dunk, they no longer thought MJ was some sort of basketball sorcerer who figured out how to levitate in midair. They were certain of it. MJ's hang time was, and still is, like nothing else we've ever seen. The man's ability to just hang in the air was almost too good to be true.
Bruh, I swear to God. Hey, this sounds a little bit over. It sounds a little bit over. I swear I have a longer hang time than Michael Jordan. I swear, bro. I used to just sit in the air. I would sit there. I knew you had to come down. I knew you were coming down before me. I knew that much. I was like, nobody ever could stay in the air as long as me. I sit there. And then I just nicely, give me that one. Bro, I don't know. Maybe his hang time is better than mine, but I swear. And I mimic my jump status after Michael Jordan. So I knew how to hang it. I guess that's how I knew. And it always felt like I was floating when I was doing it. Because it was like I was just gliding. But maybe Mike got a better hang time than me. I've always thought I've had the best hang time in the world. Cause I just, yeah. But man, I'm sorry, bro. Let's get back to it.
And that's because it wasn't true. Not the jumping part, but the hanging part. Because contrary to popular belief, it is impossible for an athlete to hang in midair, even for a fraction of a second. The concept of an athlete's hang time is a myth. Back in 2007, a show called Sports Science paired up with former NBA player Jordan Farmar to test the theory of hang time. At the time, Jordan had a vertical leap of 42 inches, and they put this vertical to the test by attaching trackers to his body and pressure-sensitive insoles into his shoes to measure his jumps. And what they found was that no matter where he jumped from, no matter how high he jumped, and no matter how he maneuvered his body in the air, his ascent was always exactly the same amount of time as his descent, with no pause or stall or hang time in between. When you see a player who seems to be hanging in midair, what you're really seeing is actually a bit of an illusion.
While mid-flight body contortions cannot affect their overall flight, when elite players like Michael Jordan begin their descent, their body stretches, which keeps their head moving horizontally for an extra split second. This creates the optical illusion of prolonged hang time.
Now, I cannot begin to tell you how devastated I was.
You learn something new every day. Look, and the crazy thing is, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd at heart, so that made perfect sense to me. But I get what he's saying. So what he's saying is, this is for the people that didn't know. I know it's some people that know, but it's for the people that don't know. What he basically saying is, when you jump, you always are going to come down. So when you come up and you get here to your pinnacle point, you're going to come down at the same angle. But some people can stretch their back and spine and their head and lift, like stand completely up, just that top half, to make it seem as if the head is still going straight when it's actually going down. To make it seem, you get what I'm saying? So it's part of that. That's smart.
I was when I watched this episode of Sports Science as a kid. This is unbelievable. Next thing you know, someone's gonna tell me Michael Jordan didn't actually stretch out his arm 25 feet to score a last-second bucket to defeat the Monstars.
Bro, you know he didn't. You know he didn't.
But you can't ignore the facts. So, as great as this dunk was, it wasn't great enough to defy the laws of physics, and the concept of hang time was all just a myth. Just like many other narratives and concepts within the NBA that we've been led to believe for years.
Like what?
Today's video is sponsored by Keeps. Keeps is a subscription-based service that focuses on making it easier and more affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness. Throughout the 75-year history of the NBA, there have been some incredible stories. Stuff that is so incredible that it sounds mythical. And that's because it is. When an old tale or an exaggerated recollection of events takes hold within NBA fandom, it virtually becomes a matter of fact. But today, we are going to find the truth behind some of these myths. Now, growing up, years ago, it was just a matter of fact that Larry Bird was the greatest three-point shooter of all time. We all knew it, and we'd all heard the stories from those who watched the man play. I mean,
hold on, bro. Don't walk down this path unless you know where you're going. Hold on, bro. Hold on, big fella. Calm down. Calm down. Now, the Michael Jordan, when you had valid point, when you talking about Larry Bird shooting, you better have some hard facts, brother. Come on. Don't play with me now.
The dude won 3 straight three-point contests, including one where he didn't even take his warm-up off. And to this day, some fans will attest that Larry Bird is still one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time, most agreeing that he's top 3. Yeah. Steph, Ray Allen, and Larry Bird. But this, my friends, is a myth.
I would go Larry, Steph. No, Larry, Allen, Steph. Only reason I put Allen. Allen is... Boy, y'all gotta put some respect on Allen's name. I know, Steph got the record now, but no, I can't. Now that I think about it, that boy still be pulling up from 116 feet, boy. So I don't know.
This time, Larry Bird was an excellent three-point shooter. But fast forward 35 years, and there have been dozens and dozens of players who have surpassed Bird in his shooting. Check this out. Here's a chart of the...
Was that Nick Young? Hold on. It said Nick Young. Nick Young? What? Richard Jefferson? Hell no. I don't see anybody else that I'm really familiar with right now. Tyronn Lue is above. Get the... Right,
been dozens and dozens of players who have surpassed Bird in his shooting. Check this out. Here's a chart of the best three-point shooters of all time. The further right a player is, the more efficient they were. And the higher up, the...
Steph is not... Why you make it... You just made that gap huge.
More threes that player made each game. All the way at the top is, of course, Stephen Curry on his own planet. And then you have Klay Thompson, Buddy Hield, Damian Lillard, James Harden... This list includes hundreds of players since the three-point line was added to the NBA. And all the way down here is Larry Bird. Now, of course, Bird played in an era where players shot far less threes. And for his time, he was one of the best long-range shooters. But times have changed. Drastically. Sure, if Bird played in today's league, he would practice shooting more threes, he'd play in a system that valued the three-pointer more, and he would have simply shot more threes. But Larry Bird doesn't play in today's league. And just based off the facts, there are countless players that are simply better three-point shooters than Bird was. Now, this next myth...
Okay. I can agree. Okay. I mean, I'm one of them people who if you got logical reason, I can step off my podium. Even though I don't feel it right, like the same way, I still think Larry Bird is the greatest shooter, second greatest shooter to ever do it. But I can step off my podium and say, okay, you got a point. You got some facts. Those are facts. That makes sense. Yeah, we can't. I wish we could put Larry Bird in today's game because, yeah, he would. But we can't. So, therefore, we can't really see what's going on,
is one that has ran rampant over the last few years. And quite frankly, I'm sick of it. Every offseason, NBA fans all over social media lose their minds over Instagram and Twitter videos of NBA players who've improved their game, specifically their shooting. Every summer, clips of NBA players not missing a shot or going berserk in a training session go viral, and immediately fans believe these players have revolutionized their entire game. If I have to watch one more video of Ben Simmons sinking 8 straight three-pointers in an empty gym and then reading comments about how he's got a three-point shot now, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Don't get me wrong, back when these off-season videos first began to surface a few years ago, some of these guys had me fooled. Andre Drummond's got his free throws down, some player added 15 pounds of muscle in the off-season and their game has completely transformed. Ben Simmons can now shoot the three ball.
Hey, y'all want to know something funny? Ben Simmons is the only player in the NBA right now that LeBron James has trained. Ben Simmons. Now, Ben Simmons ain't a bad play. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Ben Simmons is horrible. Yeah, that's the only player that LeBron James has ever trained. This guy.
You want to know why Ben Simmons is drilling threes like he's Stephen Curry's long-lost brother in these off-season clips? Because he's in an empty gym with zero pressure and piss-poor defense or literally no defense on him at all. 99% of NBA players knock down damn near every shot they take in practice. They are all automatic in open runs against players you've never heard of. And time again, we are shown that these off-season clips do not translate to the NBA season. I think Lonzo Ball may be the only player in recent history to actually vastly improve his shot over the course of one offseason. We have got to stop taking these offseason clips so seriously. It's just practice. Every NBA player looks like a god when they're getting open shots up. And no, Ben Simmons cannot shoot the three despite the 30-second shooting clinic he posted on his Instagram. Now, the average height of an NBA player is 6'7" tall, which is really tall. In fact, the average NBA player is taller than 99.99% of all males in the
That's just that 99.9. I mean, I think, what is the average male height? Like 5'11", 6 foot? The average male isn't, or is it like, it's not tall. I know it's not, you know, because I don't know. I think it's 5'11". So, I mean, that's just crazy.
United States. That means, on average, if you gathered 1,000 random men, odds are only one of them will be as tall as the average NBA player. And knowing this, it kind of blows my mind when people say you don't need to be tall to play in the NBA. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a myth. Take me.
What do you mean it's a myth? What do you mean it's a myth? To be a great player, you might need the height. But to play in the league, you don't need it. We've seen Spud Webb do it. We've seen Nate Robinson do it. We've seen Stephen Curry. What is he, 6 foot even? 6'3"? He might be 6'3". We've seen short players do it, bro. So I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm not saying it, you know, it's gonna be a walk in the park. I'm not saying that. But it's possible. Don't say it's a myth. A myth means it ain't, yeah, you 5'10", you're not playing in the NBA. No, you don't know that. Bro could jump out the building. Bro could have a deadly 80-foot three ball. He don't even got to cross the half-court line. He could be one of the coldest dribblers in the game. You don't know. So I'm not going to do that.
For example, I'm 6'1", and being around basketball my entire life, I've never considered myself to be tall by any stretch of the imagination. But generally speaking, I'm still taller than about 93% of men within the United States. Now, out of the 590 players currently active in the NBA, take a wild guess at how many of them are my height or shorter. 40.
Oh, 40?
There are 40 players in the entire NBA that are 6 feet 1 inches tall or shorter, which means I quickly go from being taller than about 93% of men in the general population to taller than just 2% of players in the NBA. But it gets worse, because the average height for a male in the US is 5'9", which means that an average
that's not bad.
Average size man would literally be the shortest player in the NBA. But he wouldn't be the shortest player in NBA history. Of the 3,500 players to ever play a game in the modern NBA, only 11 of them were 5'9" or shorter. That's 0.3%, less than half of 1% of all NBA players since.
But you just proved it's not a myth, bro. If these people made it, it's not a myth. It's a sliver. It's not very, you got low chances, but it's not a myth.
1977 have been average in stature. Look at how minuscule Nate Robinson looks against most NBA players. The man is 5'9". This is what an average guy would look like in the NBA. As if the astronomical chances of making it to the league weren't difficult enough, not being tall makes this immense goal next to impossible. So yes, you do need to be tall to play in the NBA. Well, either that or be an absolute anomaly of an athlete. You know, an athlete like Spud Webb or Nate Robinson or Michael Jordan. Except...
What do you mean Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan, like... Never mind.
Michael Jordan wasn't only a freak athlete, he was also 6'6", a combination of attributes and physical gifts that eventually made him the greatest basketball player of all time. And decades after Jordan's retirement from the game, his legend continues to grow. The man went 6-0 in the finals throughout his career, but many say that if he didn't retire the first time in 1993, Michael and the Bulls would have won 8 straight championships. But this is a massive myth. You see, that's impossible, because Jordan did lose in the playoffs to the Orlando Magic. Not in the finals, not in the conference finals, but in the second round of the playoffs. So there's really no need to theorize if the Bulls would have won 8 straight titles, since we literally saw Michael and the Bulls lose right in the middle of their decade-long run. And I know what some of you are thinking.
Bro. Are you serious, bro? Baseball, okay. Okay. I don't think so. If Mike would have played, he would have never lost here. Reason why? Because he still would have been elevating his game. So Michael Jordan would have won in 94. And because he won here, he wouldn't have never had to. This was his comeback year. So, he had to get back into motion. Of course, he was going to go out in 95. So these 2 years, if Mike played, he would have won. The Magic wouldn't have even took him out in the second round. The Magic probably wouldn't even been the playoff pitcher.
When Michael returned to the NBA in 1995, he wasn't in basketball shape, and he didn't have enough time to get reacclimated to playing basketball by the time the playoffs came around. And although there's some truth to this, I'd be more inclined to agree if MJ didn't average 31, 7, and 5 a game against Orlando in that series.
Hey, on God, hey, don't do me like that, Jody. I get, bro, I gave valid points. I have valid points. This man came in here and shut me the fuck down today, didn't he? He like, yeah, bro. I would probably say that too, but I know Mike averaged 31. This man, 6 rebounds, 4 assists a game in the playoffs. He would have lost. He got me. That's what I'll admit when I'm wrong when you got valid.
In fact, MJ had better numbers in the playoffs right after his return in 1995 than he had in the following season after being back for a season and a half. People act like he was a shell of himself in his return, when in reality he was about 95% himself in those playoffs. The truth is, after losing Horace Grant in the 94 offseason, the Bulls struggled against teams with prolific big men. And when the Bulls met a prime Shaquille O'Neal and the Magic in the playoffs, this weakness was put on full display in a 6-game series. Even if the Bulls made it past Orlando, they would have had to go through the Knicks, who were just as deep in the front court. And eventually, they would have had to face the Rockets, who were the most complete team in the league that season, with one of the greatest big men of...
Why my man look like that? Why this...
Rockets, who were the most complete team in the league that...
Why my man look like that? Oh, God. Why they do my man like that? Damn, boy,
that season with one of the greatest big men of all time. Even if the Bulls had Michael in 94 and the entirety of the 95 season, they just didn't have the roster to outmatch some of the other teams at the time. Not to mention that time and time again, we are shown that winning multiple championships in a row has massive effects on teams. Between injuries, contracts, and player retention, winning championships isn't as simple as just having the talent. The Warriors assembled the damn Justice League for a few seasons and they still couldn't win 3 in a row. Kobe and Shaq were the best duo in league history, but after three-peating, they just couldn't replicate the magic they once had. I'd even go as far as saying Michael Jordan retiring in 93 was the best thing he could have done for his legacy. By the time he came back, he was rejuvenated, he was motivated, and the Bulls had made the necessary offseason moves to make them the overwhelming favorite again. So the next time you hear a crazy story or some stat that sounds too good to be true, it's probably because it isn't true. When a player reaches greatness, he becomes the man, the myth, and the legend. You just gotta know which is which. Hope you all enjoyed.
That was a good video, man. I mean, like you said, bro, it's all facts there, bro. I'm not one of those people who just want to shun it. He came with good, paperwork with Larry Bird. On Michael Jordan, he came with good paperwork. So when you come with the paperwork, I'm one of the people who say, yeah, that's me, bro. Yeah, I'm wrong. That's my fault. And that's what I'm doing today, bro. He did good on this video. So I'm guessing this was just about myths in the NBA. I really like this video, man. If you guys did enjoy this video and you made it all the way to the end, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all hit that like. Turn your notifications on. And I'll see you boys soon. LT is out. Peace.